What up, it's Dane here. In this video I'm going to tell you the truth about bulking and cutting and if you should even be doing it. So you might hear a lot of people say be in a positive nitrogen balance, have a small calorie deficit, and that's the way you build muscle, stay lean year round. Now there's a problem with this, right? So good luck trying to measure nitrogen balance. You measure nitrogen balance through your sweat, through your poo, and through your wee. That's how you measure it. Now you can measure it through your wee, but in most cases it gets estimated through your poo and through your sweat. So measuring positive nitrogen balance is very, very difficult. In my personal opinion, I don't think positive nitrogen balance or nitrogen balance is a good indicator of muscle growth because of the error rate. So to think about it, is it optimal to be in a small calorie deficit and try to stay lean year round while building muscle mass? Sure, it's possible, sure it can happen, but for most people it's definitely not optimal, especially if you're in probably the first 2 to 3 years of your training, because that's when you need to build a foundation, that's when you need to build muscle mass. If you're very, very advanced, those individuals, yeah, sure, you can stay lean year round because you're not going to gain a significant amount of muscle mass anyway. So here's exactly why it's not optimal to have the small calorie deficit year round. Try to build as much muscle as possible, or even a little bit of muscle, right? So here's the deal. Less calories means less muscle protein synthesis rate, or at least less resting muscle protein synthesis rates. Now, the way to increase this is by increasing protein intake and by increasing weight training, or doing weight training at the least, right? So that's that. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned is that increasing protein will also increase nitrogen balance. However, there is a point, right? There's not just like eat as much protein as you want and your nitrogen balance will go through the roof, right? It's not like that. It's probably, you hit a threshold and then anymore it's probably going to be detrimental because of this, not because it's going to give you problems like kidney problems or anything like that. It's exactly because of this. It's because if your protein intake gets extremely high, you're probably going to consume less carbohydrates, and we know that carbohydrates, nutrition 101, carbohydrates produce more energy than, let's say, fatty acids does, so ketones, right? So we know that, and if our protein intake is very high, and same with protein, carbohydrates, #1 energy source, we all know that, man. So that's why resting muscle protein synthesis rates are lower, therefore it's not as optimal for muscle gain. So the point I'm trying to make is, if your main aim is to improve your physique, look more muscular, then I recommend you go on a lean bulk phase, meaning a small calorie surplus. That way you prevent excessive fat gain. One thing I have to mention as well, for those of you who don't know, just by increasing the amount of calories you eat does not mean you'll gain a significant amount of muscle mass or even more, because what happens is that you eat 200 calories over your maintenance calories, you gain a good amount of muscle mass. Start going 400 calories over, that's where you're probably going to gain a little bit of excessive fat gain. Now, one thing I have to mention again is this is based on how many years you've been training properly. The closer you are to your genetic muscular potential, so if you've been training for 4+ years, you probably do need a very small calorie surplus to gain to gain some muscle mass and prevent the excessive fat gain. But if you're a beginner, it's a novel stimulus to you, you can have a larger calorie surplus because you are allowed, your body can gain a significant amount of muscle mass in a short period of time. Linking me back to the positive nitrogen balance and being in a small calorie deficit, sure, those advanced individuals can, because like I said, they can't gain a significant amount of muscle mass in the first place, so they can stay lean year round. So don't get caught up on this positive nitrogen balance stuff. Sure, you can build muscle mass and lose fat at the same time. I'll put the video at the end of this video if you want to check that out. I just made it recently, so check that out. But positive nitrogen balance, man, come on. Enough of that. Not a good indicator of muscle growth in my opinion. So that's that. Stay positive, stay smiling. As always, if you have any video suggestions, please let me know. Let's get it, and I'll see you in the next one.